My favorite UD memory.
My favorite UD memory.
I guess something that's always been my favorite is
Favorite thing? A lot. I mean, just being a student at UD, you get a unique experience, and for me personally, I kind of loved the caring that I have had at UD, the education, the learning experience. I couldn't find another place. I mean, I'm just blessed to be here, to be honest.
My favorite UD memory is going on trips with Alan. I went to Greece and Ireland twice. Both times were amazing. We got to see everything. And also I got to make some incredible bonds with people that I would normally not make bonds with.
The culmination of it was the capstone, and the capstone project for me was probably the most fulfilling because I was able to take every piece of what we learned across the progress of the 11 other classes and apply it to the capstone project, and being able to take the skills that we learned and apply it in the simulation that we did. It really showed you internally what you were able to learn throughout the whole process.
My favorite UD memory is probably just freshman year in general, just because of the dorms and how open our dorm was. We always had our doors wide open. Everyone would just walk in. There were times where there were 15 people just sitting in our room out of nowhere, and I would just come back from class and they would be in there and be like, oh, okay. So it was just fun and welcoming, and that's kind of how we grew, as I'm still friends with half of them that were on my floor today.
I guess something that's always been my favorite is, because I've been part of all the plays, is that moment right before you're doing our play. So we're in the green room or backstage and we're getting ready for it. And our last play we did was Picasso at the Lapanagile, and that show went phenomenal, and it was fantastic. But we had three people who have never done a play before, Brandon, Andrew, and Professor Garfield. So having all three of those people who have never done a play before and had all the old veterans of acting do plenty of plays, having them be a part of their first play, and it was my last play, that was very memorable, especially Professor Garfield's. He's always been one of my favorite professors, and I never imagined my senior year I'd be doing a show with old Professor G. So having him, come along and be a part of my final show was definitely super memorable.
So my favorite UD memory is I got to go on a mission trip with my short-term missions class last May to the Dominican Republic, and it was my first time being out of the country and my first time on a plane, so that was really exciting. It was life-changing. So the mission trip, it was to a town called El Bete, which I think translates exactly to the town. It's so small it doesn't really get a name. It's an hour south of Santo Domingo, I believe. And so we got to help them build a community center. We got to do VBS with the kids. We got to hand out Operation Christmas Child presents, and that was really cool. And we got to meet a lot of people, and we got to love up on a lot of kids, and that was really great.
I went to Chicago and worked in an inner city school. It was an elementary school, and there was a group of us. We stayed in a hostel. We commuted about 30 minutes to go to our school, and we got to see what an inner city school is like, and witness, for me, being a minority in a school and not really knowing what to expect and how things are and how important school is to those kids.
So I've been involved with campus ministry. That's been great. Just getting to work alongside Jim and Dana and Bridget has been awesome. I've got to help plan the retreats for campus ministry, and that's been really fun. We got to go to the church camp I work at. We got to go there twice, and it's been really cool to kind of bring my UD friends there and to get to be a student and work at the same time.
Okay, the best part about being a mentor was just stepping out of my comfort zone and meeting new people, and I went up on stage and danced and did stuff that I would never do. So it just being able to help freshmen was something that was really important to me.
Again, I don't want to be unfair. A lot of events were really great, but the one that I worked on it hard with my team was the Saudi National Day at UD. We had really great day. People were laughing, they were having fun, they were eating a lot, which is really great.
Al-Eid, it's a holiday for us, so all the Saudi students gather and celebrate the holiday. So that was my favorite.
My favorite event was the hypnotist because I, one time, was hypnotized on stage and don't really know what happened, but apparently it was hilarious. And then another time I went and just watched, and they needed a volunteer from the crowd to call somebody, so I called my mom, and she was a part of the whole thing. She was like, had no clue what was going on, and afterwards it was just a fun experience.
So my favorite event at UD was probably Gym Wands. That was super funny. I went with my friend Amy, and it was just funny to see like all the different people get hypnotized, not only on stage, but in the crowd. And then we all like talked about it during class time. And it was really funny because some of them just like made funny remarks. I did not get hypnotized. I was too scared to get hypnotized. It was not a good thing.
Well, I played softball all 4 years, and I absolutely loved it. I wouldn't change anything for the world. So my senior day, it was a game last year here, and I hit my very first ever home run over the fence. And it was an awesome feeling. My parents were here from California, and my best friend was here from California, so I was pretty excited after that game.
So the professor that had like the biggest impact on me was probably Dr. Roger Eberts. His classes are just great. He's super personable. He really got to know me, and I felt like he was investing in me and my future.
So the professor that made the biggest impact in my college career would be the digital art and design professors. Alan Garfield, Sheila Sabers, Jean Holdner, Joe and Lynn. They made all the difference. They taught me everything I know, and I'm just incredibly grateful for them.
I would say a lot of the staff had a impact on me. I mean, I would say like anyone who I've had a class with has impacted me some way, but the one professor that has impacted me the most would have to be Greg Wolf, our new head of the head of the theater department at UD. But before he was head of the department, he was just the teacher of the improv class. And I took improv my freshman year, and thanks to him and his teaching and his life lessons, I stuck with improv all 4 years and just came better as a theater student because of him.
I can honestly say that every professor that I had did give me something, but if I was to pinpoint one specific professor throughout my time here, it was probably Wendy Knight. I knew going into Wendy's classes that they were going to be tough, they were going to be challenging, but I knew that when I left, I was going to learn something. And typically it was more than just one thing. I knew I could walk out of Wendy's classes having learned, again, I go back to being able to apply in the real world. And she was very good at making sure that what she was teaching you through the 5 weeks was that it was stuff you could take out to the real world. And so she was very instrumental. I actually had 3 classes with Wendy throughout my time here. And I know there was some students that would stay away from Wendy because the amount of work that she would make you do. But for me, it was, you're spending this money, what do you want to get back out of it? And so for me, it was great being able to take classes with Wendy.
I would have to say the entire education department for teaching me everything I know, getting me the opportunities in a classroom, and for just being there and supportive through everything. Even when softball came in the way, they were able to make something work. And then I would have to say Coach Whip and Coach A for really being role models and allowing me to be a student before an athlete, but still have athlete as like my #1 goal. And it was just, all of those people are fantastic.
All right, I don't want to be unfair. I mean, I had a lot of really great professors that have influenced me. Every person that I met influenced me. But when we talk about influence, I would say Professor Rafiq Sino, and also in my education side, I mean like in my major side, I would say Professor Mark Woodhouse. They've done a lot of things that I couldn't even stop thanking them.
Professor Woodhouse helped me a lot with everything. He understands the difference between like the relationship with each student and try to make us all close to him.
So one of the things I really appreciate about UD was that even though I'm done with my undergrad, getting to do like the 3-for-3 program and getting to like start seminary while I'm still like comfortably like an undergrad and kind of get a feel for it before I commit has been really great. Getting to like spend time with both like the seminary professors and undergrad professors and seeing how they like work together for me and for like the other 3-for-3 students has been really great. The experience.
Number one thing I'm going to miss about campus is how beautiful it is here on UD. Dubuque is like where my extended family is from, so being here is I'm gonna miss it a lot.
I'm just gonna really miss the student class section of it, you know, just going to the classes, things like that. Because after college, that's really it, unless I pursue, you know, education further, go to graduate school or something like that. That's it, you know, there's no more, you know, waking up and, oh, I gotta go to this class, or, oh, I wanna skip this class. There's no more of that.
So I'll start being a full-time seminary student in January. I'm really excited. It's a little nerve-wracking. I think I'm excited to be able to stay at UD and do it and stay in the community. I think just because UD has been so great with my undergrad and knowing that like I trust that my master's and all that stuff will work out.
I'm gonna miss the people the most. They have impacted my life so much. From being from California, I made a family here. I couldn't thank them enough for like letting me be a part of their life and impacting my life so much.
In high school, I made lots of friends, but especially here at UD, I've made an everlasting impact on my friends' lives, and they made a huge impact on my life, and I'm really gonna miss them when I leave.
Yeah, I made a lot of friends here, so if I wasn't here, I ever met them here, so yeah, that was my favorite memory.
I would say it in Arabic, shukran UD.